Any other update you're getting in? I think we have a guest joining us live as well, Abhishek, Rakshita.
Right, we have Sarah Claire, who's joining us. She's a foreign policy expert, and she's joining us from Los Angeles. Thank you so much, ma'am, joining us. And how do you see the situation that is unfolding, minute by minute developments coming in, and there's strikes and counter strikes, and the whole is spilt across West Asia now, ma'am?
Right. Well, I would say that, first of all, the United States came in very strongly on this attack. And obviously, as was mentioned, this has been planned, the buildup for weeks. So I expect it to be very well planned out in terms of safety. And we also have to remember that the Iranian regime is very weak from the 12-day war back in June. And so they're low on missiles. Their air defenses are, as we can see, they're not, very helpful at this moment. So I think that right now we're seeing the first wave of this, and it's being executed according to the plans, the U.S. plans. And we're, as you also mentioned, we're seeing the beginnings of the Iranian retaliation. So we'll need to keep watching that. But so far, everything that the U.S. has done looks like it's going according to plan.
President Trump is going to address the nation again, in addition to the video, what has been released already. What do we expect from here?
Well, in his first address, he really went into why are we doing this and the existential threat that Iran poses. And so in his second address, I expect to hear he probably has an update to share about where we're standing with the operation. And I also, he wanted to emphasize in that first address why is the U.S. involved in this, and so he didn't really talk too much about Israel's part. So I also expect we'll probably hear him mentioning that and how they're involved.
Right, yeah. Yes, Abhishek, there are more, I think, updates that are coming in right now. In fact, stay on with us. We have some breaking news coming in right now. And Australia is reacting to this situation. In fact, the Australian Prime Minister has backed the United States' efforts to stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons. That's what they call it. Australian Prime Minister says, and I quote, "It has been long been recognized that Iran's nuclear program is a threat to global peace and security. International community has been clear that the Iranian regime can never be allowed to develop a nuclear weapon." The United Nations Security Council has reimposed sanctions on Iran for failing to comply with the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, and the IAEA board has formally declared Iran in non-compliance with its non-proliferation safeguards obligations. I'll go across to Sierra, who continues to be with us from Los Angeles. Sierra, while we have the Australian Prime Minister also now lending support to United States operation.
That doesn't surprise me. I think there's a lot of countries that have been quietly or, even privately expressing to the U.S. and Israel that they support these actions. And, after we saw the protests earlier this year and we heard the Iranian regime talking about their missile program, which threatens, Europe. There were some reports that it could reach all the way to the eastern side of the United States. So there's a lot of countries that were on alert, that were aware that this threat was growing, and whether they wanted to admit it publicly or not, they support the U.S. stepping in and doing, something that's not only good for U.S. interests, but good for the world.
But my question to you, Ms. Claire, is that are the Americans looking for a bargain? I was asking this to Terry. I should be asking this to you, because you are still not going after Khamenei for all the kind of posturing that's happening. You are still looking at third rung, fourth rung targets. You are still not going after Khamenei. So is this just posturing and bargaining going on so that maybe, there are some takeaways and then the hostilities can be pulled back?
Trump was very clear in his first address, and he talked about the objectives of this mission. Number one issue for the U.S. is the nuclear issue, and I do believe that the failure on the negotiations from the Iranian side is what instigated this attack.
Then let me ask you,
But
let
he
me ask you
also
why you did
mentioned
not wait for the Geneva
terror
talks to
proxy
happen.
Issues. Yes. Yeah, he also mentioned the terror proxies groups. He also mentioned the missile program. So there are several objectives related to this operation, and the Israeli objectives may overlap, but they may also be different.
Yeah.
And so the U.S. and Israel are working together on the shared objectives that they have, which is number one, the nuclear program and the terror
interjecting, Ms.
proxies.
Claire. I'm coming back to you just Let me take this to Ms. Claire. Ms. Claire, reports suggest, and these are Iranian media reports, so in a way confirmatory reports, that their nuclear program advisor for Supreme Leader Khamenei, Ali Shamkhani, has been eliminated in the first flush of his strikes or joint strikes by the United States and Israel.
Right, we'll just take the...
Rakshita.
Okay, Sierra, we have... Just stay on with us. We have some more visuals that are coming in right now, dramatic visuals that are coming in.
Let me get into Sierra. Sierra, I hear that Donald Trump is going to speak again. He's going to do an address this morning in America. He gave a statement, very unusual, an 8-minute statement, 30-40 minutes into the strike, perhaps pre-recorded, perhaps expecting the strike to take place. But if he's going to speak to the people of America again, perhaps we're expecting an announcement of sorts, given on the back of the reports of the head of the nuclear program being reportedly eliminated.
Yeah, I mean, if those reports are true that the head of the nuclear program was eliminated, I think that is exactly in line with President Trump's goals for this operation. And so we may be hearing him give a statement about that. I think he also, it's very important for him to reassure the American people. There is a lot of misinformation. There is a lot of panic going around, and it has been throughout the past several weeks that we've had this deployment near Iran. And so I think that he is a very transparent president, and especially when he does undertake military operations like this, he really likes to keep the public as informed as he possibly can. And so I think that's another reason why we're seeing him give, so many statements about this as the operation gets underway.
Getting in more news updates, Abhishek.
But the fact that the Iranians have also hit back this time early on, Ms. Claire, if you are still there, is evidence of the fact that maybe just as the Americans were prepared better this time, even the Iranians were so.
Are the Iranians prepared for this attack? Is that what you were asking?
Yes.
I don't think they were. I mean, I think that, there's been a lot of speculation that there could be an attack, that the naval buildup near the area was very clear. So, Iran probably prepared for something as best that they could, but the attack was a surprise. It was kept very well under wraps, I think, by our administration and by the Israelis as well. And so I don't think that they were prepared, and they couldn't be prepared because of the damages that they suffered in the 12-day war as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.